How you doing?
All right. Good, man. Aalon Cruz, man. The high flying Aalon Cruz. Man, it's been a while, man. I think 7 months almost.
Yeah,
Let's go back to the summer contender series. Highlight reel knockout. One of the greatest knockouts probably in the history of the show. Describe that feeling all again.
yeah, man, it was crazy. It's still kind of surreal, because when you're in there, it doesn't really feel like real life. It feels like a dream. And to finish my fight in that way in front of Dana and Sean and Mick, it wasn't nerve wracking or anything. But when I finished it, and then I looked at Dana and I was like, did a little signature thing, and he did it back. It seemed like it was like this is what was supposed to happen, So it was kind of like I'm finally able to show everybody and showcase, my skills, to the broader audience, other than just the people that have seen me fight on the lower shows. So it's just surreal.
It was a dog fight, man. A dog
Yeah.
fight. And third round, you just came through flying across the cage, and yeah, man, it wasn't an easy one, man, and you
Oh,
proved a lot. And even Steven Nguyen, he proved a lot in that fight. Um,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he'll be in the UFC eventually, man. It's just a matter of time.
100%.
And
100%.
well, you were pretty banged up afterwards. Did it take you a little bit of time to recover from that, or was it just like,
Um,
just visual
no,
stuff?
it was just like visual stuff, like superficial stuff. Like he literally maybe hit me on this eye. He was landing that left hook all night.
Mhm.
But he maybe hit me good like 5 times out of the fight. And that's what made my eye swell up. And then I had a small cut over my eyebrow. And that was really about it. I mean, I was out for a while because I actually did partially tear a ligament in my thumb, and I strained 2 other ones. So I was doing physical therapy for like 8 months, or no, like 8 weeks straight, just trying to get strength back. I couldn't even turn a doorknob. I couldn't turn a key. I couldn't open a bottle of water. So that's really what was like deterring me from making like my debut sooner. Like I wanted to fight, either in November or December. And my physical therapist was like, there's no way. There's no way. They said maybe the end of January. And so when I did like get the clearance to go ahead and start like get back to 100% training, I was shooting for January, and all of January was booked up, and we didn't even know if we were going to get February. We thought it was going to be March possibly. And then my agent hit me up and he was like, February 29th, Norfolk, Virginia. Originally it was Steven Peterson, and now it's Spike Carlyle.
Before we get into that, I wanted to talk about the 8 weeks. One hand, you can't use
Oh,
it. You're going through
yeah.
physical therapy. You're trying to recover from that. Did you work on other things during that time?
Yeah. So, it was weird because I had to be really careful. So luckily they gave me a cast, an orthotic to wear, because even just not having this hand, when you're throwing punches or you're throwing kicks and whatnot, you tend to want to make a
Uh,
fist, or like really strain when you're doing something. So it was really hard to like figure that out, I guess. And I wasn't able to roll, obviously, or do wrestling. Really, if it was striking, I could use my legs and I could use my jab or my hook, So this arm was just completely done. But even then, sometimes just throwing my hook or throwing my jab, it would hurt, just because it's hard to like shut this part of your body down. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to clinch, for some reason. So it was just a long road. And then we would get to points to where it would feel really good, a few days. And then I bang it on something
yeah.
and just intense pain. And then I'm back down,
Mm.
2 more days, from where I was at, so it was a struggle. It was really a struggle, but, it's there for the most part. The only thing is like I don't have full flexibility as I do in like my other hand, but it's enough to get me through, and it's pretty much, I would say, like 95% healed.
It's good that you're not in like a thumb wrestling contest, right?
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
I would lose in the first round, first like 5 seconds.
Yeah. You throw fists, not thumbs, so it's all good. Uh, Not too long after that fight, you turned 30. Do you
Yep.
feel any different being a 30-year-old man? You feel like a man? Like, a lot of people say
Uh,
life starts at 30.
yeah, no, I don't really feel any different. Um, I guess the only time I feel a little older is when like people ask my age now, and I want to say 29, but I'm like, I'm 30. It just seems older when people ask me my age, but I don't feel any older.
7 months, you get back into training after you recover from the thumb injury. What do you work on? What are you focusing on?
Really it's just getting back in shape, like getting back into like fight shape, because I got a little bigger, just because I wasn't able to train like I normally am. So it was getting my weight back down, getting my cardio really didn't fall off too much. I have pretty good cardio just in general. So I mean, I definitely get tired at doing certain things like hitting mitts and stuff like that. But yeah, it was really just getting my weight back down, and getting back into fight training shape. Especially because if I was going to take a fight, in January, February, I needed to be ready, or like all of December, I was really just focusing on training really hard, just getting to, so I don't have to like jump into a camp completely out of shape and then like, work extremely hard and then peak at a certain time to fight. Like, cause I'm used to training year round. So I'm always in shape. And that's where I had to get back to, was being in my year round shape. And then, not babying my thumb, but I still had to be careful because sometimes, even today I was wrestling at the beach and I don't know what I was doing. We were wrestling and I hit my thumb and it was kind of like real tender after that. It's fine now, but every now and then I hit it the wrong way and it hurts, so I still have to be conscious of what I'm doing, while I'm training.
The sport where it's at right now, I feel like athletes or fighters, they cannot get into camp out of shape. They have to be in shape and then get into camp. If you go into camp out of shape, I feel like you can't compete at this level. Do you feel like that?
No, I believe the same thing. As an amateur, I used to do that. We used to train for 8 weeks hard, and then we would just do nothing. We would just bullshit and, get fat. And then when we knew that we had a fight coming up and he would be, our coach would be like, all right, we got to fight this date. Then you would come in, 2 weeks or so before camp started to get back into fight camp shape. And then, the 8 weeks would happen again, then you take time off. But now, especially like coming up in the pros and like, it was really hard finding fights. So we always had to be ready for like short notice fights. So you always have to be ready. There's no time to take off. So I think just being used to, I guess most pros have to know this, right? They have to know and be ready at all times if they want to, get to the next level, because the UFC could call. That was always the thing, is like the UFC could call any minute. And if they need me on 2 weeks or 3 weeks notice, I need to be there or be ready to go. So I'm training year round. I don't ever take time off. I think that's a huge thing. I think it prevents injury as well. I think it helps prevent injuries.
I saw you went to Vegas not too long ago to the PI. You spent some time there. Did you get some tests done? Because I noticed a lot of fighters going out there to get a lot of tests done. Did you find out anything that you need to know about your body or yourself?
Dude, it's like, I guess I've never been to the Olympic Training Center, but I imagine that's what it's like. And they have everything there at the PI. I was staying at a hotel, actually the hotel that I stayed in for the Contender Series. The UFC paid for my stay there, so I got to stay there for free. I was there all week, cross training at Extreme Couture, 10th Planet Vegas, Syndicate MMA, and then in the meantime, I would be at the PI all day, doing doing all my like I did the DEXA scan, I did my VO2 max, all the diagnostic stuff. I did find out how much lean mass I have, how much body fat I have, what my body like primarily burns carbs, whether it's carbs or fats. And it was just like I felt like Ivan Drago from the Rocky movies, when they got him like with the mask. Like I had to wear a mask and stuff while I was running, so I had the mask on, and I'm doing all these lifting, and they've got like the numbers in the computer that tell me how strong, I'm pulling up and doing all this stuff, and it was cool. I've never done anything like that, and so it was a big eye-opening experience. And I definitely want to make it out to Vegas before every camp. Like, I think it's awesome to go out there, get a week or two out there, reevaluate my whole body composition, and then get some work out there, and then come back home.
Did you make any adjustments to your diet? Because I'm pretty sure they go deep into like what your body can burn or what your body can do on certain types of food.
Yeah, so I've been on the trifecta plan, with the UFC, and the only difference that we made for this after coming back was, I got some tips with weight cutting, but also knowing that I needed more carbs going into each workout, and that maybe I was getting a little dehydrated, during certain things. Doubling up on some electrolytes that I take from Thorne Research, because I also get my supplements from Thorne, and they give them to you for free if you're a fighter. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only difference. I mean, just knowing what my body burns and knowing where I'm at. So, like, my lean body mass was, I think, 140 pounds, right? I fight at 145. So when I get down to a really low body fat percentage, I still have room to work. Even at 45, I could go a little lower if I really had to. If you have your lean body mass at 150, but you fight at 145, even at 0% body fat, you still have 5 more pounds that you need to cut. And then you're cutting from your organs and all that stuff. So, they educated me on a lot of stuff, and I definitely took it to heart. And I've been using whatever I've learned out there, back here at home.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's a huge advantage for everybody that's in the UFC, and I think it's a mental advantage too, like knowing those things.
Yeah, 100%. So 2 of the tests, I actually broke, or I say I set a new record for my weight class. So one of them was a jumping, like just have my hands on my hips and jumping as high as I can. I have the highest jump height in my weight class. And then also a landmine throw. It's like you're holding this big barbell and you're throwing the barbell as hard as you can. And it's like tied to this little zipper thing that measures the power. And I found out that I have the highest record for, the power there. I have really flexible shoulders. Nothing too like, amazing. They're not like, oh man, you hit like, harder than a freight train. It just looks like that, or it looks like you don't hit hard, but you really do. It wasn't anything like that, but just cool little things. I can be like, yeah, I jump higher than everybody else in my weight class.
Well, that's an advantage. You showed it in that flying knee, so you know how it is.
Right. Well, there it is. That's probably where I get it from then.
All right. Well, Steven Peterson, man, he pulls out due to the injury. I actually spoke with Steven, and he explained it, his elbow, locking up. He can't train with it. You know what I mean? He pulled out. He has to get surgery. I think he's getting surgery today or tomorrow or something like that very soon. So hopefully he gets recovered quick. When you heard the news, did you hear it via social media or did you hear it from your manager or somebody from the UFC?
I heard it from my agent. Okay. I was actually getting my hair braided by my girlfriend because over here in Tampa in Florida, we have this big parade called Gasparilla, and it's like one of the biggest parades in the country. And I'm getting my hair braided, and I get a message from him, and it's a picture of the email from Sean Shelby saying Peterson is out due to injury. And I remember, I think I said some curse words, like pretty like angrily. I was pretty pissed, and I think I texted my agent back, and I was like, "This mother effer." And he was like, relax. He was like, these things happen. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I know it happens. It really sucks because for the past 6 weeks, I've been preparing for him, and then I didn't have an opponent, and they had to find me a replacement. So, at that moment, I didn't even know if I was going to be fighting on the card or not, or if they're going to push me further back. Luckily, they found me, my next opponent pretty quickly. So after that, I was like, all right, we're good to go. But if Spike pulls out, then I'd be really pissed.
Yeah, because you've been waiting for 7 months to get back in there.
Exactly.
But like you said, you've been preparing for Peterson. You get a new opponent, Spike Carlyle. Now is it do you make changes or is it like you just continue with what you're doing and then you make adjustments in the cage?
Yeah, I mean, I've only, so Spike's style and Steven Peterson's style are almost kind of similar, right? So they both are down to brawl, but they also both have good ground games. The only difference is Spike is 5'7" or 5'8". Steven was 5'10", and I think Spike's a little more. I think he's a little more physical. He's a little more athletic, right? He's pretty jacked and he's shredded, and he's a black belt in judo, brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a grappler. Steven Peterson's also a grappler, but he's not as physically imposing. I think Spike is a little more dangerous as well because he has knockout power. His last 2 fights are via knockout, and and he's hungry like I am to get into the UFC. Whereas Peterson, he's been in the UFC for 5 fights now. He might not. I mean, I'm sure he's still hungry. I'm not saying he's not, but he might not have that me and Spike are both making our UFC debut, so we're really hungry. Like, we want to just get our, foot in the door and get our first, big win out of the way.
Yeah, it makes a whole different dynamic because with Peterson, he was coming off that crazy spinning back fist knockout, and you're coming off the flying knee knockout, so there was a lot of hype for that fight, that matchup.
Right.
A lot of people were talking about, this is going to be crazy. But now, with Peterson out and there's a different dynamic. It's like you guys are both coming in, making your debuts. So you're going to see some fireworks in this fight. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it's he's a athletic, powerful guy. And, and you're a high flying guy. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. What's funny is Spike Carlyle, not his last fight, but his second to last fight, he won by spinning back fist knockout. So it's just funny that him and Steven have the same knockout on their record, so I guess maybe it was destined. It was meant to be.
Now, 7 months, it's boiling inside you, man, in your stomach, in your body to get in the cage. What can we expect out of your debut?
I've never been in a boring fight. Every fight that I'm in is exciting, and I think it's because my style, I'm always trying to finish the fight from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. I'm always trying to finish it. I'm not trying to go to the judges. I've never thought that in my mind that I need to make it to the judges or I just need to get through this round. I'm always trying to finish the fight. Even if I'm ahead by 2.5 rounds, if I'm on top of you, I'm trying to finish you. So, and then that's just my style. So I think my style just lends for an exciting fight. So I can't imagine the fight between me and Spike isn't going to be exciting. He goes out there, he likes to brawl sometimes, and he gets crazy. I'm expecting him to maybe try to take me down. I've seen with longer guys or taller guys, he's pretty good at cutting the distance. He throws big shots, get on the inside, grab you, take you to the ground, mount you, take your back, and then choke you out. That's kind of his thing. But I'm also, aware that he does have knockout power. So I'm not going to be in his range to get hit, by some looping shot that came out of nowhere and to put me down. So just, I would expect, I'm expecting fireworks pretty early on in the fight.
I know USADA has visited you many times already. You haven't even made your debut 4 times. You haven't made your debut yet.
Today was the 4th. Today was the 4th.
Oh, today. Okay.
Yep.
And Holly Holmes, they just did some press conference. It was weird. I gotta say it was weird because they did a press conference for her being the first fighter to be tested 50 times and she's clean 50 times, and they gave her some jacket. Is that appealing to you? Do you understand? Is that kind of weird, do you think?
Well, what's funny is I was just telling Nicholas, he's my USADA guy who comes in specifically for my area. And I was just telling him, I was like, I'm shooting for that 25, clean test. I need a shirt or a pin or something like that. So, I guess I can understand. In a sport where there are a lot of people who are trying to win, and trying to do whatever they can to win, even if it is illegal or if it's risky, and if you can just prove that you are natural and you've been natural the entire time, it just solidifies your legacy, right? Because when Anderson, popped for, I can't remember what he popped for, whenever he popped for that kind of I don't want to say it's tarnished his legacy, but it kind of like puts like a question mark. Like, oh, was he like cheating the whole time? You know, when he was killing everybody, or was it just like a one off? You know, so in my mind, it just kind of like, you know, puts an asterisk next to your record or your name or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I train clean. You know, everything I take, like I said, all my supplements are from Thorne. So, I mean, if I ever pop from something, it's going to be from Thorne. And, you know, the UFC supplies, you know, from Thorne. So that's going to be on them. They're going to be paying me, or the USADA is just going to have to let me fight.
Yeah, man. Like that would be a complete shit show if that actually ever happens to any fighter in the UFC,
Right?
where the supplement comes back and it's one of their supplements. It's just gonna, you know, hopefully it never happens. But yeah,
Hopefully
now
it never happens. But
yeah, now the featherweight division stacked, man. You're joining it. You're joining a stacked division. Volkanovski's the champion. Who do you think he should fight next? Do you think the Max Holloway rematch is more appealing, or would you like to see the Korean Zombie fight Volkanovski?
I mean, I feel like you have to give Max a rematch, only because he was such a dominant champion for so long. Like with Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor, I always thought Jose Aldo should have got the immediate rematch. I thought that was kind of bonkers that he was the champ for 10 years, or he hadn't lost a fight, you know, with a belt in like 10 years, and then they don't give him a rematch. I kind of feel the same way with Max. Like, he was such a dominant champion. You have to give him a rematch. And it wasn't like he went out there and just got like, he didn't get starched. He didn't get completely outclassed. He got outpointed. Like, he lost. You know, BJ Penn got his rematch with Frankie Edgar. You know, I would say rematch. I mean, I love Korean Zombie too, and Korean Zombie is only on a 1-fight win streak. So to me, it doesn't make sense to me. I think Korean Zombie puts one more fight together, and then the belt. I mean, but I don't even know who's above him. He just beat Frankie Edgar. Maybe Korean Zombie and Max Holloway fight, and then the winner fights Volkanovski. But then Volkanovski has to wait. So I don't know. I'd probably say the rematch if I had to really choose.
All right. Well, you start your journey, man. February 29th, UFC on ESPN Plus 27, Norfolk, Virginia, USA. Aalon, thank you so much for the time, man. Appreciate everything, and good luck on the fight and everything else that's going on in your life. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on. And good luck with everything you got going on, too. I know you're killing it.